Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jayzon, and we've got a Division A matchup for you guys tonight. Dread Pirates versus Queen's Consorts, but, you know, I've got a lot of snake problems in my life, so I decided to bring tonight a Mongoose to help me out with all of these issues. How you doing, Mongoose?
Doing good, man. I'm game 3 of a triple header tonight. We're a machine. Woo!
Yeah, you're just taking them out left and right, up and down. And
well, Baja's back, so I got to do what I can to stay ahead of him. I got to keep the head start going.
You got a good head start, but Tortoise versus the Hare, man, that guy can just go forever on casting. He never seems to get hoarse either. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, see, I've got this theory: since I'm not going to catch him on quality, I have to pass him in quantity.
Aha, there we go. All right, well, it looks like both of these teams are ready. They've been very patient as we set up this stream. So we've got Dread Pirates on the left, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. And we've got Queen's Consorts on the right for y'all. First pick going to be going over to Queen's Consorts. So we're on Volskaya Foundry, map pick of Dread Pirates. What do you like on this map, Mongoose?
Toys. You got to bring the toy collection. You got to get the turrets. You got to get the biotic emitter. The team that leverages those tools to their advantage best is going to give themselves the advantage. That's too many advantages. The team that uses those best is going to be at an advantage during the objectives, which are really long, drawn-out battles usually.
Yeah, all about sustain on these control points. So we do see a lot of the sustained healing from things like Anna or Alexstrasza. Of course, can be very good with the pressure that she brings in from Dragon Queen. But we'll have to see early Queen's Consorts taking out the Anna, not necessarily because of the healing power, but just because she's so broken right now with that grenade build.
Yeah, even with the Eye of Horus banned at NGS, she is so good. With the healing reduction on the grenade, the sleep dart, Maiev, something you see banned the higher up the elo you go, kind of at the mid to lower levels, not quite as much, but when you start to get up here with the really good players, you're going to have Maiev banned out and first pick Abathurs.
Strange times we live in these days, Mongoose, when Abathur is one of the most highly contested heroes in the game, but after his changes, he has been just a beast in the Nexus and can get a little extra soak value on this map as well during these long objectives.
Yeah, for sure, and Dread Pirates going with the front line, picking up the Thrall and the Arthas to anchor the rest of the team. So we'll see if this Thrall is going to be the function as the primary off-tank bruiser, or if they're going to go triple front line, which we're seeing more and more these days. A lot of teams really opting to go with the big, brawly compositions. And Axel Foley on his patented Diablo a couple seasons ago, he was an absolute terror in Div B. And it was on the back of Diablo largely. The teams just started banning Diablo away from him.
Yeah, I seem to remember a certain caster constantly harpooning on how good Axel Foley was on that hero. He definitely made a name for himself that season on that hero. But I really like the draft strategy early here from Dread Pirates. They know about Abathur. They know how strong he is. They decided to deny the Maiev and the Zeratul early, letting the Abathur through, but then picked two very, very strong evolution targets early here, because if you got that copy of Arthas, it's just hard to stop your advance.
Yeah, and not just that, especially if they go for another frontliner to go 3 of them, all of those heroes are very sustaining. It gives them the tools to wait out the evolution clone, and once that wears out, Queen's Consorts will it's a huge weapon that's just not available if they can kind of wait out and sustain through the evolution.
So Tyrande and Phoenix going to be the ban out here on the turn of the draft. 2 more picks coming up for Dread Pirates. They don't have their support yet. They will save that actually for the final pick. Kind of going to give them an idea of what Queen's Consorts has in the way of damage before they decide how they want to try to sustain through these long team fight objectives.
And it's just as I thought. It's the triple front line. it's going to be difficult to bring those guys down. Sir Stiggles on Li Ming, gonna want to get the resets to get value, functioning as a ranged carry. Gonna have a lot of room to operate, and Mayog gonna be playing Valera. So slightly different compositions coming out by both teams. I'm concerned with the Valera and an ABBA, though, that they're going to seem a little body light in the early going for Queen's Consorts. They're going to kind of have to take it easy till 10, I think.
Not only that, but until Diablo gets his souls up, I think that that's going to be a big boon for Queen's Consorts in terms of being able to zone and put a lot of pressure on this massive front line. And Alex Straza is going to be the pickup, very strong pickup for that triple front line, the AoE heal, especially with the percentage. It's a pretty easy map to get globes on, so we'll probably see that Circle of Healing talent at level 1 for Alex Straza, and should be able to get some nice percentage damage on this beefy front line. Or percentage healing, I should say.
Yeah, and the Valera gets great value with the Abathur hat. She's kind of a one-man gank squad, but the inverse of that is there's not a lot of great gank targets on Dread Pirates. It's going to be tough for Valera to get past the Arthas slows and the oil slicks from Blaze to get back on that Li Ming. Maybe they target a Thrall. I'm not sure. I'm really curious to see what the target prioritization is going to be if they can't quite get to that Li Ming.
And I'm making a note here, Mongoose. Dread Pirates drafted Li Ming. Okay, I'll say that for later. Anyway, we do have game number 1 loading in here onto Volskaya Foundry. Dread Pirates versus Queen's Consorts. And this one should be a pretty good one. We had our friends over at Nexus Edge hyping up this match as one of the matches to watch for this week. And those guys, they use a lot of stats. They know what they're talking about. So let's get on in here.
I'm really excited for this matchup. I've had the pleasure of losing to both of these teams mightily in scrims. They're really good, and I think Division A is actually pretty stacked overall. At the top, I think it's going to be pretty cutthroat. But these are two of the teams I think you're going to see toward the top of Division A at the end of the season. So kind of an early season clash of the Titans, if you will.
All right, well, let's get on into this matchup. On the left, it is going to be the Dread Pirates. We've got Bat Mary playing the Blaze. The Real Uni going to be playing Alex Straza. Slithering One going to be on the Thrall. Sir Stiggles going to be on the Li Ming. Jealous. And Dark and the Lurker going to be on the Arthas.
And for Queen's Consorts, we have Doc Holliday on Rhaegar, Michaelin on Abathur, Axel Foley back on Diablo, Yonners on Hanzo, and Mayog on Valera.
And right away, it looks like it's going to be just pretty easy clear and rotate for the start. And I am stuttering a little bit here, but it looks like it might be smoothing out. A little bit of lag, but we will see just the natural 4-man rotate. Going to be a little bit of a disadvantage for the side of Queen's Consorts without that extra body, but nice cutoff. Yonners is going to have to natural agility away to get away from that gank.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think the early going down a body is going to be a little bit rough for Queen's Consorts. Valera can't really dual Blaze unless they has the hat on him here in the solo lane. Over time, I think Blaze will wear down Mayog. But Queen's Consorts is a smart enough team, good enough players. They're really going to take it easy till their comp comes on.
Meanwhile, we do have the first map objective up here as we get back into the actual correct the correct scene here. Dread Pirates was on the point for a bit there, but nice pressure coming in from Queen's Consorts to be able to push them off, and they're going to start channeling a little bit of it themselves.
Yeah, and you'll notice Michaelin actually stepped way up in that top lane as the slug and slinked himself away as soon as Li Ming and Alex Straza coming up there. So maximizing the experience soak there, Abathur.
And now,
this is something I noticed out of the high-level teams casting Heroic last week, Jay, and something we're seeing here that maybe some of the lower teams can really learn from is a huge root followed by jet propulsion catches too. Yonners and Holiday, they're going to have to run out of the objective here. Dragon Queen is popped. That will signal a full retreat from Queen's Consorts. What I started to say was the higher level teams, Heroic and Div A, as you watch them on the mini-map move around the map, there is like 0 missed soak. They prioritize soak so highly, and even with an ABBA advantage, you look at those XP bars, these teams are absolutely dead even.
Yeah, 7-7 so far. And again, the engage coming in from the side of Queen's Consorts as they now have that extra turret to dump down on it. They're diving in really deep here as Mayog getting a little bit low on the back end. Kind of stuck in there as Valera with Delurker just on top, and that's going to be a good kill going over to the side of Dread Pirates and going to give a reset here for Sir Stiggles.
Yeah, that was one of my concerns with that Valera pick specifically into Arthas and Blaze. Mayog on Valera as a triple jet propulsion. Queen's Consorts is going to have to call the retreat off and give the point up just for now. But it's going to be very difficult, I think, for Mayog to operate into the kind of comp that Dread Pirates brought onto the field here.
Yeah, and for right now, the members of Dread Pirates do have this back, and it looks like we are back on the stream as well, so hopefully that will even out. Sorry, we've had some issues tonight with Twitch, but meanwhile, this fight is on, and we're going to see, once again, back and forth, but Valera ends up being the first to fall. The reset's now coming in again for Sir Stiggles. No level 10 yet, so the Abathur comp going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage here. Axel Foley is in, trying to overpower to get himself out. He does get out. Thrall actually dying off the back end as Yawner's ripping people apart from far away, but it is the first Punisher of the game that's going to go over to Dread Pirates.
Yeah, nice snipe kill by Yawner's, able to pick up the Thrall. But early going here, pre-10, being really heavy team, kind of rolling over Queen's Consorts right now, struggling a little bit. And once Arthas is getting onto Valera, she's really struggling to get away. So I want to see the changes that come from these team fights once both of these guys get their heroics on.
Yeah, and we will see, once again, the push to the top, the priority lane here, at least in this early game for most teams on Volskaya Foundry. They get the well, which is going to be a very nice advantage going into the second control point.
Something else to keep in mind, of course, Abathur taking Mule. So if you're the side of Dread Pirates, when you go on these structures, you either go in and finish them off, or you kind of don't do it. Otherwise, you don't get a whole lot of value out of it.
So that is the extent of the Protector's power.
Yeah, and we will see, again, the item prioritization here as Dread Pirates looks to grab that camp in the mid. Going to try and get that bionic grenade. Mayog, an interesting solo laner on any map, but Queen's Consorts will take them where they can get them at this point.
Yeah, and Valera putting the hurting on Blaze, coming online a little bit now. If he gets a hat, maybe able to do a little more. However, eating the jet propulsion and the fire from the sludge does get the Abba hat, forces Blaze to back off. But Rhaegar using his wave clear. Holiday really pushing in this top lane here, trying to force that back as Abba comp is struggling for map control just a little bit.
Yeah, and right now, you know, both teams a level 11, so the Abathur going to start coming online here with the Ultimate Evolution picked up. By the way, we do have talents coming in, and I actually haven't brought those up yet, so we'll give you guys a sneak peek at those talents. Surprise, surprise, we do have Lifebinder coming out here. Actually, that is kind of an interesting pick, but a lot of really high health pool targets over there for Dread Pirates. So that, along with the Earthquake, Disintegrate, Drop Bunker, and the Army of the Dead as Blaze falls in the bot lane to Valera.
No, not just Valera. Valera with the Abba hat. That's really the key there.
Valera 1.25.
That's right. Yeah, the Lifebinder with those big targets. Dread Pirates is already so tanky and durable and going to be really difficult to bring down. But with Army of the Dead and Bunker and Lifebinder, it's going to be really difficult, I think, for Queen's Consorts to secure kills in this 5-on-5 team fight.
Both teams heading in towards, starting to lean towards the top lane a little bit. We're going to have that control point B coming up sooner rather than later. Level 13 already achieved for Queen's Consorts, but Dread Pirates still a little bit away. They'll have plenty of time to get it, though, before this objective is up. Who do you like in this next control point, Mongoose?
I think I like Dread Pirates, but it's going to be the first time we've seen these teams on board with their heroics, so I really think this next fight is going to give us just kind of a preview of how the latter part of this game is going to go. For the side of Queen's Consorts, we have Ancestral Healing, Ultimate Evolution, Lightning Breath, Dragon Arrow, and I don't know her icons, Cloak of the Shadows for Valera.
Alright, I'm going to try one more time. Ooh. Go ahead.
Caught out in slug form in the mid, giving Li Ming a reset. Oh, what an untimely DC for Michael, and Lightning Breath for Diablo.
And Discord's trying to reload, but either way, he's still working the camera. Look at this guy. What a guy, still working the camera for us so you all can see. Yonner is going to be going down and picking up the camp there as I try and get our buddy Mongoose back into the stream.
By Queen's Consorts, rotating down to the second turret. It's all about the toys here on Volskaya Foundry, and they're going to get a second turret for this objective fight. So great call here by Queen's Consorts, and now they will start to rotate up. On the flip side of that, though, Dread Pirates pushing in with the counter pressure now that Queen's Consorts is off the map, and they did a lot of damage in this top lane.
You know, as soon as I got back in, I just hear you casting, man. You are on it. Not only working the camera for us, but just nailing it with the recording. But anyway, we are back here, ladies. The best part is I'll cut all that out in the VOD later, Mongoose. No worries. We will see the fight coming in, though, as the Dragon Arrow comes off the back end. Huge bunker, though. The fire just burning up the members of Queen's Consorts as the bunker still managing to be alive here. Massive scatter arrow, but Yonner's super low on the back end is going to end up going down. It's a 3-for-0 exchange. Dread Pirates just obliterating Queen's Consorts there.
Yeah, and that was actually a Rhaegar claw right at the start of that fight. I'm not sure if there's something they're trying there, if that was a misclick, but as I was kind of thinking, Queen's Consorts just didn't have the damage to burn through all of that big, heavy front line, all of the sustain, all of the tools to stay alive that Dread Pirates has. Queen's Consorts, at least right there, did not have the answer.
Yeah, now level 16 in for Queen's Consorts, but they're not going to have any time to really utilize that advantage before we see the 16s coming for Dread Pirates. And they march down, they finish off everything in the mid, and now are going to be turning their sights on this bottom fort.
Yeah, and you know, that team fight, Jay, honestly wasn't particularly close. The bunker was perfectly placed. They fought into like a huge choke in the middle of Earthquake and all of the Arthas stuff that he throws out, and Dread Pirates won it pretty handily.
Yeah, as they do walk forward, they're going to get a nice amount of damage on this front wall. We do see the members spreading out here at Queen's Consorts, and I will say this much, there's not a lot in the way of counter siege on the side of Queen's Consorts. They do have decent damage on the Hanzo, but that's really about it. The Abathur comp just not very good at pushing back when the enemy looks to siege.
So Queen's Consorts once again prioritizing the turrets. It looks like Dread Pirates are going to jump right on that biotic emitter, and this is really kind of keeping in line with their whole composition. Sustain, sustain, sustain. Outlast the Valera Burst, outlast the Evolution from Abathur, and an invade by Queen's Consorts. They're going to grab that turret and get out just in time, or are they?
Yeah, Axel Foley really close here. Gets hit by the root. Unstoppable does come out, though, as Dr. Holiday on point with the cleanse, but now it's the dog that's in trouble. He's going to go down, and that's going to give a reset over to Mr. Stiggles as they look to chase. Yonners gets blown up. Pop goes the Hanzo. 2-for-0 exchange here for Dread Pirates.
Yeah, there's just so much control coming out for Dread Pirates, and there's just not enough bodies to take the damage. Diablo just can't absorb everything that's coming out here.
Meanwhile, we do have camp being stolen by the side of Dread Pirates. They're going to look to take this away from Queen's Consorts and push with it as well. They've got a lot of damage coming in here. And they're pretty decent on the siege damage overall. The Li Ming, not great wave clear, but a ton of siege damage overall. Especially one thing I just noticed as this game has been so crazy from a production standpoint. This is orb build Li Ming, Mongoose.
Yeah, not just orb build Li Ming, but glass cannon orb build Li Ming.
With a Valera on the other side.
Well, I mean, and why not? He's so safe behind all of those heroes that Sir Stiggles just basically doesn't have a care in the world. Really pay attention on those team fights. He's under no pressure at any time in any of these engagements.
Yeah, and we are seeing Dread Pirates picking up their camp, gonna force Queen's Consorts to have something to answer to in that top lane after a while. But for right now, we're getting closer and closer to level 20 for the side of Dread Pirates. They're gonna get it right around the time that it's time to start contesting over this bottom control point, Mongoose.
Yeah, and then that leaves Queen Consort with some difficult decisions to make. Do they contest point 320? You don't want to give the objective, at this point in the game that's conceding a keep. So it's really just not a good decision to be had either way. Camp invasion coming out for Dread Pirates.
Yeah, we will see them taking the camp here and being able to steal that away. So just another little advantage that Dread Pirates can have going into this. But look at Queen's Consorts. They're on the chase. They're trying to force here before 20.
Yeah, I actually thought they would force a little harder going in, but Valera finally gets on the Li Ming, but not able to finish her off. Huge jet propulsion again, a huge root again. Queen's Consorts forced back even further. Axel Foley going to go down. Doc Holliday soon to follow. That was Queen Consort's chance, and Abathur went down as well.
Yeah, I think Abathur dies to the top camp up there,
wow.
And yeah, everything coming up Dread Pirates right now. Queen's Consorts really struggling to find their footing here on Volskaya Foundry in game number 1. I think we're back on the stream as well, so welcome back to everybody who's sticking around waiting for Twitch to do its thing. But fear not, we do have the VOD recording, assuming that nothing goes too wrong with that. We'll have it up on YouTube for you all within the next few hours after this cast is over either way. But we do have level 20 now for Dread Pirates, and they do a great job here. I love this call. So many members down for Queen's Consorts. They'll take down the bottom keep, and they'll open up the first real win condition potential here as they get this Punisher in the bot lane.
Yeah, that last team fight, Mayog got probably his first, last, and only opening of this game that he's going to get onto Sir Stiggles, and was very close to taking her out. And that team fight would have gone completely the other way if he had succeeded in taking out the Li Ming, but not quite. And I don't see Mayog being able to get back there on him again. Yeah,
with the front line that's available, it's very difficult, but interesting. They're going to go ahead and put the healer in this along with Thrall. They're leaving Li Ming out here. Of course, Li Ming does have really good siege damage to be able to put into this, but the core is just completely melting. Shields are gone 50% as the end gauge is on, but with the Punisher here, army and everything else hitting it, that is going to be too much for the core to handle. Game 1 going to Dread Pirates here on Volskaya Foundry.
Yeah, what a great lesson in how to end the game too. Just no messing around. They didn't mess with positioning or team fighting. They went straight for the jugular, right to the core, completely ignoring any kind of defense that Queen's Consort put up, because if they would have done anything but attack the core, that gives Queen's Consorts the opportunity to actually stop that. But once they went straight under core, there was nothing to be done.
Yeah, that's an old lesson of Dreadnought kind of thing, is consider how many different ways you could lose, and really, if they did anything other than go straight to the core like you said there, those are the chances they can lose. But the full commit was there, the rotation was good, and game number 1 belongs to Dread Pirates. Any surprise for that result, Mongoose, or did you have any kind of expectations for this matchup?
Well, this matchup in particular, I actually thought it would be really close. So I'm surprised at how one-sided game 1 was coming into the draft, but I I think that was a very strong draft statement. I think the comp advantages that Dread Pirates had with these teams that are very close in skill level, to give them that kind of comp advantage, equal skill, it's really hard to overcome. So I'm not surprised at the outcome based on the draft, but I am surprised given how closely these teams are skill-wise, I think.
All right, well, we are going to go ahead and set up for game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll take a quick break while we hit the lobby, and we'll be back in just a few moments. All right, we are back here for game number 2. Dread Pirates up 1-0 over Queen's Consorts, and we're going to be going to Infernal Shrines. Dread Pirates, or Queen's Consorts rather, selecting first pick once again, Mongoose, and we're seeing that kind of trend to start here for the most part here in NGS Season 6, that teams preferring that first pick.
Yeah, I heard you talking to Rexpa about that the other day. I actually really liked that you asked him that question. He kind of expressed that more often than not, he thinks first pick better, but it is also a little bit team dependent. And by taking map pick, it allows you to kind of maybe catch the other team off guard with maybe a specific pocket strategy. But I think we're kind of a little bit early in the season to start see that stuff pop up. As we get later in the season and teams start to know each other a little bit better and target ban each other, you might see some of those pocket strats pop up as first pick Michaelin on Zeratul.
Yeah, and this time Dread Pirates denying the Abathur this time around, and you saw it last time. You know, Zeratul and Maiev banned out. They first picked the Abathur. And this time, you know, they let the Zeratul through, and Queen's Consort says, okay, well, we'll take that one. It's clear that Queen's Consort wants 3 different first picks, and Dread Pirates just can't deny them all.
Yeah, going back on that Arthas, apparently a comfort pick for Dread Pirates, and sticking with the Ice and Slows theme, Jaina to back up the Arthas this time around.
I heed the voice.
We will see the Diablo Tyrande in response as well here, as slows versus stuns right now on both of these sides, and the Zeratul can be a very good combination with that Apocalypse from Diablo from Axel Foley. So we'll have to see if they want to go for that as their wombo potential.
And not just that, but Diablo Tyrande is kind of an old school combo that really crushed the meta. It's been a couple of years ago now, but it's still really effective if you can time out the Lunar Flare for the overpower, get the Hunter's Mark on that target, put the Zeratul damage on top of it. You can really blow up a target. Kael'thas banned out for Dread Pirates.
Yeah, and right now, just denying that AoE potential, Kael'thas, of course, with great clear on this map. And they've got their mage already, so, we're not going to see Ring of Frost as the follow-up. We'll now see no Flame Strikes or Phoenix to put on top of that Wombo. It does still leave the possibility of Gul'dan, but ultimately we'll have to see. Maybe, I don't know, I think we're a little bit too high up in the ELO to see Planet Cracker Phoenix, don't you think?
Probably, although we did see the power of Orphea here.
Oh yeah.
Recently, and if you want an AOE mage, she's the one that's available.
Hello,
Kerrigan coming out, an old Divine 9 favorite.
Hey, we loved it, we played it well, but Sir Stiggles flexing last game on my favorite hero Li Ming, now going over to a buddy's old favorite hero Phantoms. But the Kerrigan, of course, famous on this map in particular, Infernal Shrines, just for being the best wave or shrine clearer in the game. She's able to just destroy those minions and get a lot of shielding off of it as well to have the extra sustain during the map objectives.
Yeah, I wonder though why they didn't save her till last. What hero were they hiding that they actually picked Kerrigan first?
Yeah, good question. The Lost Vikings, maybe? I don't know. It's very interesting question. By the way, Phoenix was picked up, so Planet Cracker Dream still possible.
I think you're more likely to see Earthquake Salvo as Urel actually last picked there. According to Nexus Edge, at least as of the last recording of the show, Kerrigan was 5 or 6-0 in the early goings of Nexus Gaming Series Season 6.
That just tells me that the teams are picking it at the right time, because it's not a high instance of Kerrigans, but they all win when they are picked. So, of course, Tyrande, one of those heroes that can be very susceptible to dive. She has no real mobility and not a whole lot of defense against that kind of dive strategy. So you look at it, Arthas, along with Urel and Kerrigan, all very good dive heroes, and again, triple frontline for Dread Pirates as they look to really be able to enable Slithering One on this Jaina.
Yeah, on the flip side of that, though, the Dread Pirates comp is very burst dependent. They want to grab somebody and send them back to the Hall of Storms really quick. So if they can't get that initial blow up, I wonder if the sustained damage is there for the re-engage.
All right, well, we are loading in here to game number 2. On the left, Dread Pirates up 1-0 in the series so far. Delurker going to be playing the Arthas. The real Uni going to be on Rhaegar. Slithering One on Jaina. Bat Mary going to be on the Urel. And Sir Stiggles playing the Kerrigan.
And Queen's Consorts. We have Doc Holliday on Tyrande. Axel Foley on Diablo. Michaelin on Zeratul. Yanners on Phoenix. And Mayog on the Thrall.
And I gotta say, Mongoose, I liked how that worked with following your camera around, so if you don't mind, I think we'll just go ahead and do that again this game.
Fire away. I think you're just trying to convince me to be an observer, and it's only going to work a little bit.
Okay, well, good job so far. But we are, both teams rotating into the mid. Zeratul kind of sharking around, seeing if he can find anybody, maybe hide in a nice little spot on the top lane, go invisible, and Delurker, trying to get those spray stats up however he can, even if it's the basic spray.
Yeah, I imagine what you're going to see here from Dread Pirates is Kerrigan, I think, is going to try to follow up on the Howling Blast from Arthas.
Yeah, there's a lot of CC on both sides, so I really honestly don't know who has the advantage in terms of the rotation game and the pick potential. There's a lot of damage and a lot of just scary rotational ability on both sides, but that's a nice Howling Blast to start here by Delurker. Going to slow down Phoenix, at least, from rotating up quite as fast, and the wave clear potential definitely there for Dread Pirates as they get an early lead on these rotations.
Yeah, their rotations are just a little bit stronger, combined with Delurker cutting off and dismounting, so nice job there of Dread Pirates. Meanwhile, in the top lane, poor Michaelin on Zeratul has the unenviable job of playing into Urel as Zeratul. She's just holding that hammer fully charged, waiting for him to step in. But he's doing well, just kind of collecting the soak, not doing anything silly.
Yeah, it was a nice juke, actually. He poured it away right as that hammer came out. So we are going to see, again, the rotation to the mid, though, as both teams have now picked up their mid camps. And it looks like for right now, Dread Pirate's actually going to just send Diablo up to catch the mid lane soak, and they're going to grab the bot camp. The question is, does Dread Pirates decide to rotate to the bot, or will they push in with it? It looks like they're going to go with the former.
Yeah, you know, I'm not right very much, Jay, but I really strongly favored. And there's the root into Kerrigan. Comp does catch Thrall. Holiday throws down the Lunar Flare for a peel, but follow-up damage was not there. Yonners, in the meantime, was just putting a whole lot of poke on the backside of Dread Pirates there.
Yeah, Sir Stiggle's going to have to walk away from that one. He's going to feel it in the morning. But, yeah, the combo just barely finding the mark on Mayog. But I was surprised. You know, the Jaina damage is enough to be able to blow up a Thrall, especially off of that Kerrigan combo. But it looked like Slithering One was just a little more interested in clearing the wave. So maybe a little bit of miscommunication early here from Dread Pirates. And that's definitely not what you want in a big CC blow-up comp like this.
Yeah, and I also think she was just a little bit far away. That was kind of a max distance Howling Blast and a long range dive from Kerrigan. So I think maybe she just kind of wasn't close enough to really drop the damage in.
Meanwhile, Shrine is activating. This first Punisher will be an Arcane Punisher to whichever team is able to collect 40 of these Shrine minion kills first. And boy, howdy, is Dread Pirates on top of this, already halfway there before the members of Queen Consorts are even in the lane to rotate in on this.
Kerrigan, Arthas, Jaina, Rhaegar, that is a lot of Shrine Monkey burn.
Yeah, Axel Foley does dive in. The stun is back onto Slithering One off of the Lunar Flare as well, but Axel Foley now getting low. The members of Queen's Consorts are being shoved out of this point. Thrall is not even going to make it out. And that's going to be first blood and the first Punisher going over to Dread Pirates.
Yeah, Axel Foley really initiated hard onto Jaina there, and they almost got her, but not quite. And then after that, the fight very reminiscent of Game 1, with kind of Dread Pirates rolling forward in these team fights and just kind of forcing back Queen's Consorts.
Yeah, we will see the jump in from the Punisher. Nice bait over. The root does come down on the Howling Blast, but it looks like John Cena will have one final jump before he dies. And for right now, Dread Pirates just going to go ahead and finish off this fort and look to escape.
You know, the other consideration that it just kind of dawned on me right now, Kerrigan, you can see them go either the Ultralisk, since the changes to it with the free stun, or the more traditional Maelstrom. However, with an Arthas, if Arthas gets on top of them, Queen's Consorts have really struggled to get out of that Arthas stuff. And if you put Maelstrom on top of Arthas, Holiday is in trouble here. Down he goes. But the Arthas slows with Kerrigan on top of him with Maelstrom. You're going to get a lot of value out of that. I think that's probably what we're going to see here.
Yeah, and I think that Dread Pirates has a very strong counter to quite a few members of Queen's Consorts. Pretty much everybody in the three-man, other than Diablo, very susceptible to dive. You know, of course, Thrall has a little bit of mobility with that Whirlwind, and Yonners has the teleport, but the teleport interruptible by both the combo from Kerrigan and the root from Arthas, as well as the knockback from Yrel if she is in the team fight. So just a lot of pretty decent counters that they have just in their base kit here to be able to deal with Queen's Consorts and just make it so they can't really run away.
So about a half a level difference here, Jay. Kind of the calm before the storm here, before this second objective is going to pop in the top lane. And looks like this is going to be an invade with all members of Queen's Consort showing bottom. Dread Pirate's going to come in on the Bruiser camp, and this is going to go down real quick.
Yeah, one thing I really want to point out as we head in towards the level 10s, if you look at the damage numbers over on the side of Dread Pirates, not a whole lot of damage so far, particularly the Jaina. 1,700 damage here in the first 6 minutes in terms of that frost damage. The members of Dread Pirates are doing a very nice job of playing macro. they're barely team fighting the members of Queen's Consorts. They are in complete control of this map and have a nice half level, or almost, well, it's actually not really much of a level lead, but you know, definitely got the structure advantage and control right now, but they're just doing it off of very efficient team fighting, which is what you want with the Kerrigan. They go in, they look for the combo, they get it. If they do, they get it or they don't get it, but then they just move on to the next thing.
Well, and I kind of offhandedly touched on this earlier. Both Kerrigan and Jaina are not like volume damage dealers. They don't really pad with super high damage. They're all about burst and efficiency, get all of the damage onto a single target and take them out. So I don't think we're going to see super high damage numbers out of Dread Pirates for that reason.
Yeah, nice bush there from Dread Pirates. They were looking to see if anybody's from Queen's Consorts was going to get a little bit too close, but the owl was good from Dr. Holiday to go ahead and reveal them. DeLurker does get the root out onto Thrall to get this started, but the root in return, and a ton of damage going on to DeLurker. And it's counter synergy city there as the Sabo comes out and is completely negated by the Void Prism. The APOC is good on the follow-up, and Michelin is going to end up really low. Sir Stiggles trying to make it out with almost no health. Axel Foley trying to see if he can find a flip on anyone. Urel ends up going down first. The Real Uni is next. DeLurker super low, makes it out with about 5 health. The members of Dread Pirates get completely shredded there, even without Sabo having any effect, Mongoose.
Yeah, the APOC VP combo hit hard, even despite the salvo not getting any value. And finally some signs of life here from Queen's Consorts. If it was possible to fight angry, that looked like they were fighting angry.
Yeah, and imagine a world where Yonners just waits a little bit on that salvo. That could have been very easily a 5-man wipe. But meanwhile, the Shrine is going to be picked up here. Mortar Punisher coming out. And Axel Foley finding DeLurker, checking the bush. Now, it's okay for Arthas to face check, but John Cena on the back end giving Bat Mary a little bit of a hard time. And say what you want about the Arcane Punisher, but the Mortars are coming out and dipping a little bit of extra damage into the Dread Pirates on the back end of this. Somehow nobody has died yet. Thrall finally falls. Jaina way on the back end. This team fight is all over the place, but it ends up being a 1 for 2. Make it 1 for 3 as DeLurker is gotta end up going down here. He's making it an awful long way, but will eventually fall. And once again, Queen's Consorts comes out on top.
That was an interesting call. Arthas kind of just walked into that bush directly where all of Queen's Consorts was, where John Cena was just appearing there and ate all of the CC. I'm actually surprised that fight was as close as it was, considering how it started and the aggressive posturing from Arthas there.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of sustain over on the side of Dread Pirates, but level 13s and actually level 14 now as well for Queen's Consorts, as they've gotten themselves a nice level lead, nice 1-level lead. Michaelan scouting a little bit as Zeratul does get hit by the root, but able to port away before the Goomba Stomp comes in here from Bat Mary. Camp will be stolen away, but for right now, Queen's Consorts, you know, not looking to fight. They really don't want to have to force right now. They're all about these big heroics, and they don't want to use them at this point in the matchup.
Yeah, and maybe some recognition here by Dread Pirates to step in, take a same tier advantage. A huge Kerrigan initiation on the backside. Doc Holiday running for his life. There's the VP. Is APOC going to come down on top of it? Yes, it does, and it does hit 2. Dread Pirates getting shredded one more time.
Yeah, big Sabo coming out on the back end. 2 are down. Bat Mary going to have to jump out, but Arthas is not going to be so lucky as Michaelin continues the pursuit and the harass of the members of Dread Pirates. 3-0, now 9-3 on the kill counter, and we do see the members of Queen's Consorts are going to look to continue to leverage map control. Michaelin up in the top lane, just side soaking as Zeratul, just the complete passive soak, and they're getting a nice XP lead as they head in towards this next objective. They should have 16. Dread Pirates, not so much.
Yeah, this is 3 engagements in a row where Dread Pirates goes in hard, and if they can't get that initial burst kill, it just seems to fall apart on the counter engage from Queen's Consorts.
Yeah, camp taken in the top lane by Dread Pirates. not exactly the timing you want, but I think that's, if nothing else, just a deny, something that Queen's Consorts can't invade with their 16 advantage now and try to pick up. But now for Dread Pirates, it's just the soaking game. They just have to play passive, soak to 16, and then look to take the 16 versus maybe 17 or 18 level fight to really have maybe one, maybe two last shots of trying to get back into this one.
Yeah, I kind of thought Queen's Consorts might hold that camp for the objective, but instead just opting to pick it up and prioritize that soaking. We talked about these teams don't seem to miss an absolute inch of minion soak. Zeratul off in the top lane working on clearing out the blue mercs, so the Queen's Consorts can pressure the top lane while this objective is going on. And Jay, are you gonna, if you're Dread Pirates here, do you contest this 14-16? What's the call? Because they're in a pretty rough spot.
You know, you still have the bottom keep up. I think you don't fight it without 16. I think that's just asking for trouble with this huge wombo combo. But I don't know, the way Dread Pirates are rotating, they might not be given a whole lot of a choice here to Queen's Consorts. They do find Michaelin out in the bush, though. He's in all kinds of trouble. He's gonna play the okie doke game and get back around on the other side. VP goes down onto Jaina, and Michaelin going to continue running. And I don't know, they're going to eventually find this kill, Mongoose, but bottom line for Michaelin is he's wasting a lot of their time here.
Yeah, that was actually a big play. He may have bought them enough time to actually finish this before Dread Pirates gets here. It's going to be really close.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that they have this. And you're right, it is incredibly close, but I just don't think that they're going to be able to stop just that one more minion from coming in. But they're going to try. Huge team fight coming in. They're not worried about the talent here right now with the member advantage, but they turn around. They blow a lot of these ults, just forcing them backwards. No VP to try and combo off of, but Kerrigan still gets caught in the stun. But a very nice cleanse coming in from the real Uni. Kerrigan does end up going down, however. The turn is real from Dread Pirates as they look to try and put some damage back on Queen's Consorts. But even 4v5, 16 talent tier, just a little bit too powerful. They make it back in, and they'll grab the Punisher.
Yeah, if Dread Pirates has to get the initial kill, they're so cooldown based with Jaina and Kerrigan. If they don't get that burst, you just saw Queen's Consorts turn 5v4, no fear, once they knew all of those cooldowns were up and took down the Kerrigan and finished off the objective.
We'll see Doc Holliday eating the stun from the Punisher, and he ends up getting punished big time, more by the members of Queen's Consorts, though, than by John Cena himself. And we will see the collapse in, and I think this might be the beginning of the end, Mongoose.
Yeah, I think if you're Queen's Consorts, you're really looking for core here. This Punisher is going to be about half health, 20 seconds till Arthas is up. Same tier though, so let's see if this game keeps on going.
Punisher jump, follow-up from Axel Foley. He's so good at the follow-up CC, but a huge ult coming in to protect Urel. But now that's another cooldown down, and say what you will about the Arcane Punisher, but the Frozen Punisher outing all this extra CC, very difficult to deal with. Sabo only landing on one, but the core is starting to fall on the back end as it's at 50% Mongoose. I think this is going to be it.
I think that's going to go over to Queen's Consorts here. Taking control of this game from about level 12 or so, they just took this game by the throat, never looked back, and forced a game 3. So game 1, pretty heavily controlled by Dread Pirates. Game 2, at least the second half, pretty heavily controlled by Queen's Consorts. I really don't know what to expect for our game 3.
Chaos and mayhem is what I'm thinking. Once again, my stats are kaput. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to share with all these lovely stats and talents with you, but you know, you just don't got them sometimes. Anything stand out to you in particular, Mongoose?
Well, I still have the screen up. The initial thing that stands out to me is just the lack. We kind of touched on this, that the damage numbers weren't going to be high from Dread Pirates, but there are two heroes for Queen's Consorts that outshone anybody else. So top 2 damage for Queen's Consorts, Mayog and Yonners with about 42, 43k apiece. Top damage for Dread Pirates, 35k out of Jaina, but then it falls off, so only one hero above 30. I just don't think they had the damage. They were so burst oriented, and when they couldn't get that kill, the turn and the control from Queen's Consorts was too much.
Yeah, go ahead and clip me that stat screen. I'll toss it into the VOD. But
there we go.
But
what an idea.
Yeah, I know, right? But bottom line, I think it comes down to the draft there for Dread Pirates. They had a great overall strategy, but not banning the Zeratul, allowing that Wombo combo to go over to Queen's Consorts. It's like diving into a buzzsaw with all of that damage and that CC potential. And they made him pay pretty efficiently in that game.
So if you're Dread Pirates here, is it we get first pick? We get map pick? Where are we going? What's going on? I kind of hope we go to Towers of Doom.
Well, unfortunately, your dreams are not going to be a reality. No. As map number 3 is going to be your favorite map, Mongoose. We are going to have Battlefield of... Oh, no, wait, that's my favorite map, Battlefield of Eternity.
You just want to see more Li Ming.
I mean, I'll never say no to a Li Ming. I'm making you a song, Mongoose. Don't worry about it. That may or may not be a spoof of another song. We'll see. Anyway, it looks like both teams are ready to go. And we are going to head on in to game number 3. And let's give Queen's Consorts their point while we're at it. Sorry that Mongoose is on the black screen of death, but he was clearly the problem, so we had to cut him out of the... Cut his camera out of the broadcast. You know, it's like, you know, I recently watched the Pirates of the Caribbean thing. It's like, okay, we're gonna just try and throw everything off the ship to see, just in case the weight's the problem. You know, just try and go faster here.
So
anyway.
Battlefield of Eternity was the pick of Dread Pirates.
Yeah, pretty interesting. They do elect to go with the map pick, which is kind of against the grain on what we've seen from a lot of teams this season. You think they might have a pocket strategy here that they're ready to break out for Queen's Consorts?
Possibly. Maybe they just want to get Sir Stiggles back on Li Ming.
I mean, I see what you're doing. But
Sylvanas banned.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they know something that we don't. But again, they're going to go ahead and go back to the Zeratul and the Maiev bans. They don't want to see that VP combo coming out again. This doesn't particularly strike me as an Abathur map, though. So I think Queen's Consorts going to go in a different direction. They do indeed pick up Tyrande for Dr. Holiday to start.
Turns out he's pretty good at Tyrande.
Yeah, it seems so far in this series. A lot of good follow-up, and I love the Diablo deny. We're not going to let Axel Foley back on that hero.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Axel Foley on him, which, of course, was well played, but there were so many times where the Lunar Flare was just waiting on the back of the Domination. He knew the flip was coming. It's almost like they've played together for a long time. Those guys very comfortable playing off of one another, but he goes on to the Garrosh, and Hanzo going to be played by Yonners.
Yeah, I mean, granted, Dread Pirates did win game 1, so we don't want to take anything away from them, but I will say this much. One of the highlights, in my opinion, from that game 1 was Yonners' Hanzo play. Quiet, it's just so much damage coming in on a lot of those control points. So it would be interesting to see him get a second shot at winning on Hanzo in this series.
Yeah, and Phoenix banned out a nice ban there coming out from Dread Pirates. Although it's not quite as ridiculous as it used to be, Hanzo also does provide really solid burn on the Immortal as well.
Yeah, he's still definitely one of the strongest PvE, and you combine that with Tyrande's Hunter's Mark to really be able to help you burn it. Very scary. Also very scary on this map is trying to take a fight when Garrosh is defending under the Immortal, and he's got those throws to try and throw you into the stun. circles. That can be pretty difficult to deal with as well if you're Dread Pirates.
Yeah, playing against a Garrosh under their own Immortal is just not a good idea. I mean, actually fighting under the other team's Immortal isn't a good idea generally.
You get just a little bit too close, hit with that Groundbreaker, and all of a sudden you find yourself thrown. But they are picking quite a bit of good poke potential here. We're going to see the Malfurion picked up for that extra CC ability for the real Uni. Malthael very, very good at the poke as well, being able to put that percentage damage that'll slowly tick away on the Immortal.
And we're going to see a trend here for Dread Pirates' third straight game with the big front line.
Yeah, triple front line. Meanwhile, the Medivh coming out for Queen's Consort. So Mayog having a little something special to break out in this matchup. And, you know, say what you will about, you know, Lucio, Garrosh, or, you know, other things like, you know, Brightwing with the Pixie Dust to speed up Garrosh. But when you have a portal from Medivh, you're putting Garrosh right on top of your face. That's a lot worse.
Yeah, and I know Sir Stiggles really flexed on the Leeming in game 1, and so they were obviously targeting that. But the Protect on the Medivh really makes life rough on the Leeming player. The damage from her is so telegraphed, you can really get time to get that Protected out. So Mayog is a really good player. If he can get those Protects out to eat that Leeming damage, I think Dread Pirates might be in trouble. Yeah,
definitely an interesting flex into the Medivh, but you know, we'll go ahead and chalk it up to a weird flex. But okay, see how it works out. All right, so who you got here? Just based off the drafts, give me a prediction.
Just based off the draft, I like Queen's Consorts draft better. But the burden of execution, I think, is a little bit higher, a little harder to pull off what they're showing here. So if they're not on point, I think the draft from Dread Pirates is a little easier to run. But I think Queen's Consorts is stronger.
All right, well, we are in here. Get hyped, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 3, Division A, the nightcap tonight for NGS. On the left, we're going to see the Dread Pirates. We're going to see Delurker on the Diablo. The real Uni playing Malfurion. Sir Stiggles back on the Leeming. Slithering one on the Greymane. And we're going to see Bat Mary on the Malthael.
And by Greymane, you meant Thrall.
Yes, I did.
Axel Foley playing Garrosh Yonners back on Hanzo. Doc Holliday playing Tyrande. Mayog playing Medivh. Michael in the top lane on the Artanis.
You know, I'll take 14 for 15. No big deal. We do have the standard 4-1. So both teams going to go ahead and let the solo laners be up in the top lane. Interesting matchup. Malthael versus Artanis. Be interesting to see who gets the better of that up in the top. But so far, Dread Pirates playing pretty passive as you would expect. They don't want to get it too close to Axel Foley and his metal chair of death.
One of the best skins in the game is that Nexomania Garrosh skin.
He hit him with a steel chair, Mongoose! He hit him with a steel chair!
Yeah, and in the top lane, as expected, Malthael's going to slowly win out up there. He's going to push the Artanis back. That's exactly what's happening. I'll tell you why I like the Garrosh skin, because it tilts me a little bit when Garrosh uses that gigantic war axe and it hits him like a foam noodle. Oh, real Uni is in trouble. First blood over to Queen's Consorts. You think that giant axe would hit a little bit harder, and it doesn't, but it doesn't offend me when he hits him with a chair and it doesn't hurt very much.
Exactly, because it does about as much damage as you would expect permanent damage when somebody hits somebody with a steel chair in the WWE.
Right, exactly right. Or, you know, when the Lord of Terror gets hit by a chair, it doesn't bother him very much.
Okay, that's fair, too. Alright, so first blood goes over to Queen's Consorts. They're going to go ahead and take a camp off the heels of that win and even throw down the Pepe spray. I love it. Delurker gets hit by the stun. Owl to follow up Mayong taking a little bit of a shot there from Surf Stiggles, but not even bothering using the self-shield on that. It's like, yeah, whatever. Doc Holliday can heal me up. I'm not worried.
Yeah, and Mayog already sitting at 25 stacks. He's really flying on that quest.
Yeah, Dread Pirate's really enabling him, but with the triple front line, it's going to be difficult for them to not give a whole lot of those. As nice peel from DeLurker, Axel Foley, but it's still not going to be enough. Malfurion falls even without the flip.
Yeah, and Holiday was just about a half a second off on that Lunar Flare, but didn't matter anyway. I mean, if you're going to get Malfurion, it's not going to take much to really finish him off.
Oh, meanwhile, they do go in on to Axel Foley, and now the toss, he's trying to punish the Lurker, and they will get the kill. And right now, Queen's Consorts in firm control as they head into the first phase here of Battlefield of Eternity. Let's fight in the mid.
Yeah, and halftime going to be secured here by Queen's Consorts. Dread Pirates going to be content to take their camp and probably burn down shields. Usually at this point in the game, you don't see the aggressive positioning. Queen's Consorts already on the Merc camp, though. Great job there. But no, I was wrong. Dread Pirates want to defend this. A lot of times you'll see teams just trade out since the first objective is not particularly strong, but Dread Pirates saying no, sir.
Yeah, I think they have the opportunity to get kills, but there it is. Another toss. Bat Mattery so close. The swap just barely missing. Nice kite out there from Bat Mary, and able to now back up and heal up a little bit. And now it's just going to be the 4-man defense, though, and Hanzo Vision Arrow starting to come into play here.
Yeah, I really thought Malthea was dead. I'm kind of surprised they weren't able to finish, but it was oh so close. This time on Diablo, and I don't think he is going any flare. Lunar Flare to anchor him down, finish him off. Aggressive teleport onto the Malfurion on the backside. Down he goes. Great portal there by Mayog. Swap does just miss the Thrall. First objective is going to be secured here by Queen's Consorts.
Michaelin just, throwing out the zoning swaps. Not a big deal. They don't need to hit them here early, but still getting the kills. 5-0 for the side of Queen's Consorts, as they have now achieved level 7. They have about a level lead on the map, and big shield on this first Immortal. To your point, a lot of teams elect to just take out some of that shield to really negate a lot of the effect of this first Immortal. That's not very powerful anyway, but with this many shields, it's really going to enable Queen's Consorts to be able to push in here a little bit.
Yeah, definitely so. They're over a full level lead, only 5 minutes into the game. Medivh did just finish the quest. There's the aggressive portal onto the backside. Thrall caught between both sides, the Immortal and the team of Queen's Consorts here. Not as clean of an engage this time, though. Queen's Consorts forced to retreat with no kills for their efforts.
Meanwhile, we will see Root coming in, trying to zone the members away here of Queen's Consorts. First fort will go down, however, so that's definitely a good prize for Queen's Consorts. That's the kind of max value you would expect to get from a first Immortal, and now they're going to have that slight catapult pressure pushing in the bot lane the rest of this match, along with the extra XP.
Yeah, my least favorite terminology in this game, the occasional catapult. Sometimes we're going to send them down.
1 out of every 3, still better than none, but we are going to see the portal in. Axel Foley does manage to hit the toss onto DeLurker once again, and we're going to see Diablo falling as Sir Stiggles trying to put the damage into Axel Foley, but as you alluded to earlier, Mayog there with the shield, and they've been doing a very nice job of keeping them nice and healthy in the face of all this potential damage that's not quite landing.
Yeah, and 6 unanswered kills here in the early going. Axel Foley and Queen's Consorts, they're showing they don't really care who they toss. They're throwing anybody he can get his hands on. He's throwing them, and by and large, they're finishing the job. Queen's Consorts right on the verge of heroics.
And now Malthael in trouble as Bat Mary trying to get out, does get hit by the Lunar Flare, and not going to have enough self-healing as Michaelan even rotating back up just to make sure to secure it. Level 10's now in for Queen's Consorts as they head into this next Immortal spawn. And this is going to put Dread Pirates in a very, very difficult position for this next objective.
Yeah, this game is, I know it seems early, 7 minutes in, but it's really Queen's Consorts there for the taking. This objective should fall to them easily with 10 advantage. There's no bush party or unexpected attack that Dread Pirates is going to be able to launch with Medivh just stalking Diablo. So they know where they're at all times. There's going to be no surprises, and unless something bizarre happens, this is going to be a by-the-book take-home, I think, for Queen's Consorts, Jay.
Yeah, and look at the burn potential over on the side of Queen's Consorts. You know, taking out Garrosh and Medivh completely, allowing Medivh to still have that vision and keep track, so Dread Pirates really can't have any kind of rotational advantage. Even going for the leyline steal, not quite finding it there, but Axel Foley's going to come in on it. They do have the heroics, but they are going to back out of that before anything too bad happens. But what an aggressive play there. But even just those 3 members have enough burn to make up for it.
Yeah, I will say, though, with all the cooldowns, Hughes Dread Pirate stepping in, Axel Foley eating a lot of damage. Still 10's not here yet. Axel Foley barely gets away with the spectacular portal, but Mayog might not be so lucky.
Not quite able to pin down any members of Queen's Consorts enough to be able to enable a lot of the damage coming in from Dread Pirates. They do now have level 10, so they could look to try and engage off the back of this. They are rotating to the mid, but that Hanzo arrow and the Medivh flying above, they have full vision on the other side. Heroic still down for Queen's Consorts, though, as the Earthquake is going to come in and slow the retreat. The taunt comes out. Sir Stiggles going to go ahead and get the first reset here with that kill onto the Garrosh. The Pursuit is still in for Dread Pirates as Michaelan eats the last rites. It's not quite enough to finish him off, but he does end up dying anyway. Yawner's got to watch out from that massive orb coming in, and that's a 3-for-0 exchange for Dread Pirates. They sorely needed this one, Mongoose.
Yeah, they did, and courtesy of the XP changes, you know, no matter how hard you're winning the early game, and boy do we know, it's just not as valuable as it used to be in that regard. And now this game, you know, pretty close to dead even. You know, XP wise, that was a real big momentum swing there for Dread Pirates.
Yeah, so we do see the Immortal being burned down. Does get the top fort still. So still, again, you know, pretty decent prize for Queen's Consorts. They definitely, they don't have as big a level advantage as they were going to have without that big team fight there, but they still definitely have a structure advantage as they head into the back half of this game.
Yeah, now they have occasional catapults in 2 lanes.
Occasional catapults.
So we're going to have a little lull in the game now as these 2 teams just kind of move around the map, collect soak, collect merc camps, and probably going to have a minute or 2 until the next objective pops and we get some good action again.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at these heroics then, Mongoose. We've seen them popped already, but never too late to go over them. We do have Twilight Dream, Earthquake, Apocalypse, Disintegrate, and Last Rites over on the side of Dread Pirates.
And for Queen's Consorts, Dragon Arrow, Suppression Pole, Shadow Stalk, Taunt, and freaking Leyline Seal. I was wondering if this is what was going to happen. They stayed too long. They let them get the Leyline Seal. So now Dread Pirates forced to counter-engage, and Garrosh gets absolutely chunked. A very scattered fight. Last Rites able to get the kill on the Medivh and get the reset for Leeming. Queen's Consorts now running. Root goes on to Garrosh. Axel Foley getting chunked, and he is going to go down probably, but the max distance swap on the Malthael. Bloodbath here. 2 down for 1 in favor of Dread Pirates, possibly 3. Lunar Flare for the Peels. Down goes to Michael.
You know, I gotta give a big shout out to the real Uni, because if I was in that situation at the beginning of that team fight, I would have probably taken my hands off the keyboard. I was a little confused whether that was Malfurion or Lili, because he went on an adventure to start that out. Leyline Seal into the swap, into the toss from Garrosh, and just bopped everywhere throughout that team fight, but manages to kite to the top, stay alive. Everybody on Dread Pirates was able to stay alive, and they're going to live to fight another day. However, the burn is still real. They didn't kill Yonners, and Yonner's able to just destroy the first half of this Immortal race.
Yeah, Dread Pirates had to go top lane to clear out the Merc camp and save their keep, and Queen's Consorts really recognized that and still won halftime.
Stun onto the Lurker. The taunt is good. Ton of damage coming out. The APOC does come out before he goes down, but that is a 1-0 to start. Mayog having to portal out, but the last rites still gets him in time. Hits him on the back end. The resets are now in. Michaelin gonna try and dash out, but he's coming back and is gonna go down. 1 for 2. Basically just trading out those 2 kills for Diablo's souls here, Mongoose.
Yeah, that's a big win there for Dread Pirates, despite Diablo getting just executed to start that. A great counter engage, and really big hats off to Bat and Mary, securing the kill on Medivh with the last rites for the second time, so showing really good patience to make sure that shield isn't available to defend that. Down goes Garrosh.
The real uni strutting their stuff here as the big root comes out, the Twilight off the back end, and Garrosh, sorry that he came out into the mid of this battleground for that bit. We are still seeing a lot of poke from Hanzo on the top end, so the problem is as soon as Dread Pirates wins all of these, you can't really walk away. They still have to watch out for the poke coming in from Hanzo. It's becoming a real problem here.
Yeah, it is. And
well, okay, not going to be a problem now. Hanzo goes down. But they trade out Li Ming on the other side, so this is just all over the place. I don't envy our observer.
Yeah, this is not an easy game to observe. But Dread Pirates will finally secure the Immortal there. And this wild and crazy Game 3 continues onward.
Look at the scoreboard, Mongoose. I love level 15 to level 15, 10 kills to 10 kills, and the structure advantage obviously in favor of Queen's Consorts, but here comes the half-shielded Immortal to try and even that up a little bit in the top lane and give occasional catapults possibly to counter the occasional catapults for Queen's Consorts.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Dread Pirates, they had a little too much housekeeping to do to really push in with this, so it looks like this Immortal will probably only get front wall, although as I say that, the rest of the Dread Pirates are now on their...
Yeah, they are beating down the door here, and they're starting to get those max range orbs again. This is once again glass cannon orb build Li Ming, as we're seeing a little bit of lag once again. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. There's something going on with the interwebs tonight, but we're still here to see this massive port in. The arrow coming in, Earthquake on the backside, but it's Malthael that's going to end up falling first. The Leyline Seal will secure the camp for the sides of Queen's Consorts, and even more coming in with a massive stun. Slithering One's not going to get out. Delurker is going to die. Everyone going down on the side of Dread Pirates, except the Li Ming just constantly throwing out these orbs, but really to no avail. A 4-for-1 exchange. Now Queen's Consorts are going to look to take a little bit more off of this map.
Yeah, I know what they were trying to do there, leverage that 16 into the camp, but these camps are like the perfect setup for the Portal Taunt. We saw it there, you know, really execute a Portal Taunt Dragon Arrow, and made them pay for the aggressive call. And now Queen's Consort's going to try to take this bottom keep. I think they'll be able to, but Dread Pirates will be up here in about 10 seconds in full force. We'll see Queen's Consorts opting that discretion is the better part of valor, and we'll go take the bottom camp.
Yeah, we do see them just marching in and just absolutely annihilating the bottom camp. But that was a big fight for Queen's Consorts. You saw Dread Pirates start to take a little bit of the map back. They started to get a little bit of damage coming out with some team fight wins there. And Queen's Consorts really needed to stomp that out here as they head into the late game if they want to be able to keep control of this one.
Here we go. Garrosh forced to pop the self-cleanse pretty early there. as Dread Pirates drive away Queen's Consorts. And I like this by Queen's Consorts. Good patience. They know they have pressure in the bottom with the camp and the katas, so they kind of just have to wait it out a little bit. Maybe get a 5v4 or an aggressive portal. That works too.
Yeah, they're looking for it, but Axel Foley's just going to stay in range of the Immortal here. Leyline goes down onto 3. Sir Stiggles is being chased out here by Mayog on the backside. Earthquake does come out. Gonna zone the members of Queen Consorts away, but it looks like for now they're just gonna step back here and reset, and Mayog making it up into flight form just in time, and now it's just gonna almost taunt the members of Dread Pirates as he hovers above.
Yeah, very calculated, and look at that bottom lane, Jay. Off map,
Oh my
is
goodness.
gonna get that keep here, so Dread Pirates in a rough spot as a huge combo goes out. Dread Pirates is in trouble. 1 goes down, 2 goes down. Aggressive portal from Mayog. 3 goes down, 4 goes down. And this may be the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
I assume they're going to run down and get a keep here. I don't know why you...
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I think this is going to probably be... it's going to be at least the keep here. We'll have to see if they're able to go after more or not at this point. They do take down the keep, and so it's going to be non-occasional catapults. It's going to be constant catapults coming out in the bot lane, and now they'll look to just turn around and finish off the Immortal here to secure themselves yet another Immortal that'll push in the top lane this time around.
Yeah, trying to get double keep here and really keep Dread Pirates pinned up in their own base. They're actually holding the damage here, Jay. They're going to let them start top camp, so they'll actually get camp pushing with the Immortal. Nice job waiting for Axel Foley to smack those things with his chair.
Yeah, and the power of these ultimates are just too strong for my my internets tonight, but we are seeing level 20 coming now for Queen's Consorts. We're going to have to see if these guys can finish it off or not. Definitely huge potential win condition here. We'll have to see if they can find any kills to make it a little bit more likely.
Yeah, and if you're Dread Pirates, you know this keep is pretty much done. You're calling mission success is if we keep this game alive. And if you're Queen's Consorts, you're sharking for a kill or 2 to allow you to put this game away.
Yeah, we will see a lot of orbs coming in from Mr. Stiggles on the backside. Good
Yeah,
poke
she
on.
is chunking that backside.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming down, this time onto Dr. Holiday. And the resets are in with that orb, but we are seeing on the other side, the keep does end up going down. The shields are off the Immortal, though, so they're going to look to take this defense on the core.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really have any choice in the map, but the Immortal is going down, but as are the core shields. Earthquake finally popped, and Queen's Consorts do get the toss on to Thrall. He's trying to stay alive, and he does. How in the world? Although the Immortal wailing away on the core at 18%, there is no way that Queen's Consorts does not finish this, and there it goes.
And Game 3 and the series going over to Queen's Consorts here on Battlefield of Eternity. What a matchup! What a series coming in from these three games and these two teams. What do you think? What do you think the key to victory here in the series has been for Queen's Consorts as they complete the reverse sweep?
I kind of think all 3 of the games actually went as the draft went. Game 1, Dread Pirates, I think, won the draft pretty hard, and then they won the game pretty hard. Games 2 and 3 were the other side. As each draft I liked better was actually the team that went on winning. You know, I said at the start of this game, you said, who do I like better? I said, oh, I like Queen's Consorts comps better. If they execute it, I think it's going to win them the game, and that's the way it went. So, you know, it sounds silly or really obvious to say, but 2 evenly matched skill teams, the games go to the teams that win the draft.
All right, well, I'm going to reach out to Dr. Holiday, see if he's willing to hop in for an interview with us. All right, looks like he is game.
Do you have the talent screen, Jay?
I do. It actually did populate this time, so I'm a happy camper. But Speaking of happy
there.
campers, here comes Dr. Holiday. Congratulations, man. How are you guys feeling after that massive 3-game set?
Yeah, pretty good. It was good to get the win. We got the subs. We're done with the sub time now, and we're ready to go full strength next week. Although one of our guys is going on vacation, so we're going to go one more week without full time, and then we'll be back week 4 with our actual roster.
Just in
what's up,
time
Doc? How you
of
been,
done
man?
being done.
Yeah. But
Oh,
yeah,
can't-
went good.
Can't complain about a domination and a 2-1 victory though without your main guys. So you guys got to be really riding high.
Yeah, we're happy about it. We're glad we got the wins in both those games. And we've scrimmed Dread Pirates a lot, so they know us and we know them. So there was a lot of we were definitely trying to throw stuff at them that we hadn't before. That ABBA in the beginning was pretty brutal on Volskaya.
Yeah, so they go ahead and ban out the Zeratul and the Maya from you guys the other 2 games. It seemed like you guys were just kind of playing the we'll take whatever gets through first draft strategy. Were you willing and ready to take Maiev if that had slipped through as well, or were they reading you guys pretty well there?
Well, everybody knows Mayag's one-trick Maiev, so that's kind of not a secret amongst the community. So yeah, we would definitely take Maiev.
All right, so you guys break out the Abathur early in the series as well, as you mentioned. Is it just how powerful he is in the meta right now, or do you guys specifically love that kind of play style on Volskaya Foundry?
No, it wasn't map dependent. We just were like I said, we were just trying to throw him curveballs. We've never played that against them. It was just trying to throw him a curveball because we've scrimmed these guys so many times. We played them against them in Hero Lounge a bunch of times. We scrimmed them a bunch of times. They're a really good team and they know us, so we're trying to do something different. So it was just a try to do something different situation.
All right, well, Mongoose, you got any questions for Dr. Holiday?
No. How you been, Doc?
Doing pretty good, man. How about you guys?
Struggling, man. The struggle is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stream was going back and forth tonight. It couldn't decide if it wanted to stay live, but I think we've got the recording on the back end, so we'll have it on YouTube for you guys to watch soon. But
oh, that's good. Yeah, I saw Mongoose was having trouble with his stream before, and then this one was having troubles. It was just you guys thought you might live together and have the same internet or something, and it was just poop in the bed.
Twitch, please.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Yeah, thanks for casting, guys.
Yeah, congratulations on the win, and if you got any shout-outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, just shout out to my team. Shout out to Hollis and Ember watching us out there. Shout out to all the subs we've had. Mikeland, #1 sub in the league. And then we also have Axel Foley coming and stay playing too much Apex, but his Diablo's still there. And then we've got Dangstrom was subbing into our last game, so shout out to him as well for coming in as sub for our tank at the time.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. Congratulations again on the win, and have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, guys.
Later, Doc.
Later. All right, well, that is going to do it for us, myself, and, of course, Black Screen Mongoose over there joining us tonight. I want to thank everybody for coming out. But before we go, Mongoose, where can people find you? What do you got going on in your life? Give us your life story.
It's too late for that, but you can find me at twitch.tv /mongoose_22. The same on Twitter, but 2 underscores. And I'm kind of done for this week, but we'll be back in some form next week. So keep an eye on the www.nexusgamingseries.org calendar or Twitter as well. And that's it for me.
Yeah, huge shout-outs to all the casters that have been covering all these matches. We've been being thrown a lot of these 8, 9, 11 cast nights recently, and only a few are still making it through the cracks and into the dreaded caster replay file thread down there. By the way, for any casters that are watching, go cast some replays. There are a lot available over there still, but it's been really
recovering from last Thursday, man.
Still. Yeah, from the Thursday match apocalypse, man, it was brutal. 16 on that night, but really happy with how everything started out here in NGS the first couple of weeks. I want to shout out also tomorrow night the match of the week, the Thursday night showdown in Div C West, Lurk Patrol versus Ginormous Jaegers. God, I love that name. But it should be a real good one. We'll have the pregame show going live around 6:30 PTD, and 7 o'clock will be the start time. So I hope you guys will check that out with Murda and Ghost Dunk on the cast. And that's pretty much it for us tonight, guys. Thank you all for coming out for the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jason, he's Mongoose, and we'll see you guys later. Have a good night.